Welcome everyone to our Thursday night online chess lesson for Thursday the 28th of February. I have with me today, not quite with me, but over in New Zealand, Ryan Holt. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello.
So can you tell us a bit about yourself? How old are you?
I've just turned 12 this month.
All right.
And I'm one of the better players for my age in New Zealand.
All right. Which city are you in? You in Auckland or whereabouts?
I'm in Tauranga.
Okay. And do you play much chess over there?
Yeah, I play quite a bit.
Are you in an adult club or just a school club?
Unfortunately, I'm just in a school club.
Okay. Have you played in any junior tournaments like national junior championships or anything like that?
Yeah, I've played in quite a few tournaments.
All right, okay, that's good. Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to having a chat to you today and having a look at a couple of your games. Now, let's start off with the puzzle. Did you have a go at the puzzle? White to play what result? So what do you think that would be the best move for white?
Definitely King E7.
King E7. All right. Let's try King E7. And what do you think the result of the game is going to be?
It's going to be a draw by 50 moves.
By 50 moves. All right. So I'll move my king up. What are you doing there?
Okay, then King of D7.
Okay. Keep going. What would you like to do now?
King C7.
Okay. Keep going.
King of E7.
All right. You're going to take the pawn?
Yes, I will.
All right. Now, I've got you trapped in the corner, haven't I? Isn't it?
Yes.
Is that stalemate?
That's stalemate.
Yeah. So it's a draw. What do you think?
I did find a way that you could do 50 moves.
Okay, but anyway, we played what we thought was best play then, and we got a draw. Okay. So your plan was to move in a straight line across the board. So basically, you're going this way, grabbing the pawn, but you couldn't stop me trapping you in the corner. Okay.
That's correct.
Yeah, all right. Let's have a little look at the puzzle we had last week. I don't know whether you remember this one or not. We had this puzzle.
The diagonal.
Yeah, now white was trying to stop that black pawn. So obviously the black pawn is just, hang on, I've got to get my arrows right here, is just going to hoon down here. So white has to stop it. So the obvious thing to do is for the white king to rush across as fast as he can to this corner. So if we count, it would take him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he'd take him 7 moves to get to that corner, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yep, all right.
But you can just take a diagonal, it takes the same amount of turns.
Yeah, that's what we learned last week, is the king doesn't have to move in a straight line to where he wants to go. He can go like up to here and then down this way, and it still takes him 7 moves to get to the same spot. And that was in fact the solution to last week's puzzle. Okay, now, can we apply that thinking to today's puzzle? Because you went straight across and it didn't work. I got you trapped in the corner and it was a draw. So does that give you any idea to try something different?
King E6.
Yep, King E6. Now let's see the difference that makes. So I come up. Now what would you do now?
Go down to D5.
Yes, King D5. This is something called shouldering, whether it's a bit like rugby, where your king sort of comes out and occupies the ground I want to go to and pushes me to the side, and I can't get where I want to go to. So because of that, you get there 1 move quicker, and it makes all the difference, and now you get a queen, and it's a win. So that's the solution to today's little puzzle. So just remember that technique, guys, shouldering, where your king doesn't necessarily have to go in a straight line, but if he wants, he can go like this and keep my king out. So that's a useful little technique to understand. Right. let's move on now. Now, you've sent me quite a few of your games. Thank you very much. I had a look at them. Now, let me ask everyone a question. So I'll make a sentence, and you guys have to tell me the last word in the sentence, which I want you to type in the questions. So my sentence is, most chess games are decided by... Now, what is the word? So I want you guys to type what you think the one word is that decides most chess games. So type in the question. So it could be attacks or captures, or what do you think the word is? Most chess games are decided by... Joe's written mistakes, Nathaniel's written position, Oliver's written defending. We've got 3 ideas. Anyone else want to have a go? Most chess games are decided by captures, attacks. All right. What would you say, Ryan?
I'll say development.
Okay. The closest to what I'm after is Joe. Joe said mistakes. Mistakes or blunders. I think particularly, unless you're a grandmaster or something, most chess games are decided by blunders. So if you think back over all your games, how did you win? Your opponent made a mistake, you got him in back rank checkmate. You blundered your queen, he blundered his bishop. It'll be a big mistake by one of the players that will generally decide the game. It'll be very rare that you have a game where neither player like blunders a piece or gets an accidental checkmate or stalemate or something. So to be a reasonable player, we need to work out a strategy to avoid blunders. As I've played through a few of your games, and quite often you lose your queen, or you lose a piece, or you miss a chance to win his queen, that sort of thing. So we've got to work out a plan. So what sort of things could you do you think, to help avoid making blunders in your games, Ryan? What would be a good thing to do? Any idea?
Simply keep on practicing different openings.
Oh, well, it's not so much openings. Blunders don't just occur in the opening. They occur right throughout the game. Do you practice your tactics at all? Do you have any sort of tactics training?
I do a bit of it.
Have you heard of something called chess tempo?
I have.
Are you a member of that, or you play on chess tempo or not?
Pardon?
Do you play on chess tempo? It's a website for tactics training. You signed up for
No,
that?
I simply know what it means in the chess language.
Oh, all right. Okay, well, what I suggest to most of my students is there's a site called Chess Tempo, or chesstempo.com or whatever. You log on there, give yourself a username and password, and they have a huge library of puzzles that are geared to your rating, and if you solve, and everyone gets a rating. So if you solve a puzzle, your rating goes up. If you don't solve it, your rating goes down. But the secret to chess skill is really building up a database in your brain of positions and themes and moves, so that when it occurs in your game, your brain will think, aha, I recognize this position, I can, sacrifice my bishop or something. So if you want to improve your tactics and not make mistakes in your game, join up to Chess Tempo. Maybe every night you do 5 puzzles before you go to bed or something like that. But that's a really good way to help improve your tactics. Now, in terms of playing games and avoiding problems, I have 3 things that I tell my students they should be doing. So my system is, rather than just sort of, it's your turn to move, you look around, you think that looks like a nice move, I'll play that. You've got to ask yourself some questions. So when your opponent makes a move, the first thing you do is you say, what is he threatening? Because he might be threatening to take your queen or to get checkmate in one or something. And if you don't notice, it's going to be a disaster. So you've got to say, what is he threatening? All right. Then it's your turn to move. You've worked out what he's threatening. You have a quick look around the board at all checks and captures, because there might be some really good surprise move or a sacrifice that you wouldn't normally look at. But if you have a quick look at, say, a sacrifice, bishop takes pawn check or something, you might think, hey, that looks pretty good. I'll analyze that. So examine all checks and captures. And then the final thing you do is when you've decided on your move, that before you play it, you've got to like check it. So you have a look around and say, now what is he going to reply? If I make this move, can he back rank checkmate me? Can he take my queen? Have I missed something? And you just have a good look around the board. All right, so you understand that, Ryan? You see the idea I'm getting out there? Right, it's a pretty hard thing to do because you've got to be fairly disciplined and you need a little bit of time to do it. So you couldn't do it in maybe a 2-minute game. But if you've got a 15-minute or 30-minute game, you've probably got time to ask yourself those sort of questions. So we'll have a look at some of your games and we'll apply that sort of reasoning to your games and see how we go. Now, let's see. Well, all right. Now, the other thing, let's have it start with the opening. So can you tell me what sort of things we're trying to achieve in the opening?
Good development, trying to castle.
So you're trying to castle to make your king safe. Yep, that's one. Good. Anything else?
Gain good control over the center.
All right. Control the center and develop your pieces. So, like normally, I say to my students, if they put a couple of pawns in the center, they put their knights out on good squares. They might move a bishop out. Whoops, hang on, I've got to move the castle over. Clear the back rank. So something like this would be a really ideal position. So we're controlling the center, we've got our pieces on good squares, cooperating, and we've made our king safe. Okay, so that would be fairly ideal. But I watch a lot of you guys play, and the game sort of often goes like this. So we put out our knights, and maybe we put out our bishops. We might say we castle. Black does the same. White goes there. Black says, oh, I don't want that bishop coming out. White says the same. Black goes there. And then sort of White's sitting there thinking, well, what do I do now? You know, there's no open files for me to attack down, and he's got everything covered. And see, it's a little bit hard to think of something to do. You've been in this situation in your games before?
Heaps of times.
Yeah. Well, this is because a lot of you guys don't understand a very important thing that we should be trying to do right from the opening, other than those three things I already mentioned. So I was playing Chess Kids Online the other night against someone who was in this squad, and it went like this. I was white, and he went there. And I said, that's a mistake. And he said, why? I don't understand. So I said, okay, I'll explain it to you in the lesson. Now, I'll see if I can get you guys to work out what I'm talking about. So I will show you guys the start of a lot of different openings, and I want you to tell me what you think they have in common. So when you think you've got the answer, type in the question what these openings have in common. So let's start off. So for instance, one opening that was popular last century is the King's Gambit. So that's the King's Gambit. Another opening we could play, this is the Queen's Gambit. Happens quite a bit. Very popular opening these days is Sicilian Defence. So you generally put out a knight, maybe you play pawn up here. That's Sicilian Defence. What else have we got? We've got French Defence. Quite a few of my students play French Defence. I play the advanced variation, and then Black plays here. Sort of goes like this. Now, if anyone can see a pattern here, type in the question. No one's had a go yet. What other openings have I got? We could have an opening called the Latvian Gambit. Joshua says the pawn goes to c5. That's not what they've got in common. Joe says pawn's moving a lot. Not quite. Benjamin says they're all attacking the center. Someone says they're all sacrifices. Now, Ryan, can you see any pattern in all those openings I've showed you so far?
All I can really see is that there's absolutely no bishops being played.
No bishops being played, yeah, but it's more what has been played than what hasn't been played. What's another one I could show you? So like King's Indian defense sort of goes like this. Whoops, hang on. Oh, losing control of my mouse. So that's the King's Indian defense. No one can see a pattern. Okay. It's all about the center. I think I've got just about everyone stumped. Give you one more go, Ryan. Did you see anything they all had in common?
No, really.
Not really. All right. Okay, so I fooled everyone. Right, the answer is they all have 2 pawns side by side. The French defence, the Latvian, the Sicilian, the King's Gambit, the Queen's Gambit, they all had 2 pawns side by side. So what would be the good thing about that? Why would that be a good idea, Ryan? Have 2 pawns side by side.
It's really powerful in controlling the centre.
Yes, they could be. Oops, hang on, wrong colour. They could be side by side on the flank a bit. It doesn't necessarily have to be totally in the centre. The good thing is that having 2 pawns side by side, well, there's actually quite a few good things. So the first thing is they control all the band of squares in front of them. So that's sort of handy, and if they're in the centre, as you say, that would be really good. The other good thing is that they support each other. So if my C pawn wants to move forwards, he's protected by the other guy. If my D pawn wants to move forwards, he's protected by the other guy. So they're like helping each other. So what we often do in an opening is we try and get these two pawns, any 2 pawns, side by side. And then we put, say, our rooks behind them, and then like the 2 pawns are ready to march up the board. So off they go, and that gains us more space. And if they happen to have another pawn there, we can have a swap off, and what's happened now is that my rook, which was behind the pawn, he's now got an open file. So we've got a possibility to attack down the open file. But if you don't have the 2 pawns side by side, the game's going to be all blocked, and you end up sitting around with nothing to do and no way to get your rooks in because there are no open files. So what I'm suggesting is what you need to think about is when you're playing the opening, don't just think about controlling the centre, developing your pieces, making your king safe. You've got to think, how can I get 2 pawns side by side so there's something to do? So like if you had this position, instead of putting your bishop out and he puts his bishop out, now he's sort of like, he's controlling, see, he's controlling this square. You can't play pawn to d4. And the other way to get pawns side by side would be to move the f pawn up here, but you can't do that because the knight's in the way. So it's like the block position already. So you'd be much better off maybe doing, say, a Scotch game, which is here, 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 and then straight away we go bang, we've got our 2 pawns side by side. We can have a swap off, or we can keep on pushing, gaining more space. And what happens then, say like, say he went there, I push up, he goes back. Now, what do you think White's plan would be in this position in the long term with his pawn? What would he be trying to do? Any idea, Ryan?
Cause all the pressure down the middle.
So what pawn would he be moving, trying to get the 2 pawns side by side?
He'd be trying to move the e pawn.
No, he's got the e pawn. What he would be doing, he'd be trying to move the c pawn, because his most advanced pawn's the d1. So if he got the c pawn there, then he would have the 2 pawns side by side. Right, now what would Black be trying to do for his plan?
He'd be trying to get some of his pawns doubled up as well, say going to f5.
Yes, yes, so he'd be trying to move the f pawn, and then he's got the 2 pawns side by side. See, so what you've got to think about is in terms of, is my opening going to allow me to have some pawn play with the 2 pawns? So that's an extra thing I want you guys to think about. So in the little example I gave before, where I played an online game against one of you guys, and it went like this. So as soon as he played there, and I said that's a bad move, so you explain to me why that's a bad move, see if you understand now. Why would that be a bad move? So my next move is going to be, my next move is going to be bishop here. So why would knight c3 be a bad move for black? It's blocked something. What has it blocked?
He can't move a c-pawn.
That's right. See, he can't move his c-pawn to get side by side. And can he move this one up? No, he can't, because I've got that blocked, and also my bishop's going to come out and cover that even more. So my bishop's going to come out here. So he can't get the 2 pawns side by side. But from my point of view, I'm going to be able to play pawn up here. So I'll end up with the 2 pawns, and I'll have something to do. All right, cool. So that was a little lesson on the opening. Now let's get stuck into a couple of your games and see what we can learn. So first one, you are black against someone called Egam. Okay, so you
just so you know, this was a 1-minute game.
A 1-minute game, was it? Gosh, yep. Okay. That would
1 minute to 0, no time to think.
All right. Well, what you need to do, the first thing you need to do is stop playing 1-minute games, except for fun, and play 15-minute games or something like that. So we're a bit like the first example that I showed you where you didn't have anything to do. So what do you reckon white should be trying to do here? Now, what I've just talked about. What would be a good plan?
Trying to get that rook into the middle onto the open file.
But there are no open files, so how is he going to make an open file?
By doubling his pawns, say moving his pawn up to
He should be trying to move his f pawn up here, so he's got the 2 pawns side by side. That would be a good plan for him. But, okay, he's chasing your bishop. Well, what do you normally do if your bishop's attacked like this? Do you leave it there, or do you move it, or what do you think would be the normal thing?
Well, I actually see not too much problem with that.
Okay, so you're not worried if he takes you?
No, actually, I'll simply take back with my pawn and that gets my queen on a semi-open file.
Right, you've got double pawns though, and you've lost a bit of control of the dark squares. It's not so bad because your pawns are on dark squares. What you normally do is you normally drop the bishop back here. So that if he takes you, now which pawn would you take back with, the A pawn or the C pawn?
Definitely the A pawn.
Yes, 99% of the time we take towards the center because that makes our A pawn closer to the middle, and it also, of course, it opens up the rook. So our rook is now in the game. Okay, so next time he does this, which happens a lot, I think dropping the bishop back is the normal thing. Right, now you went bishop out there. What's going on there? Why does your bishop want to go out there?
Simply to try and attack.
Is this a good attack that he can't get out of, or what?
No, it's actually a really flimsy attack.
Yeah. So what you should be saying is not how can I attack or what can I attack. What you should be saying to yourself is where do I want my pieces? I want to put my pieces on good squares. So like what happened? You put your bishop there and he basically said go away. So now you took him and he took back. So what's happened is you've given him this free move here, you've given him this free move here. So before it was your turn to move and the white's queen was back and white's pawn was back. We have this position, it's your turn to move, but he's got 2 free moves because he's recaptured on e2 with a developing move. Now admittedly, you can bring your knight, sorry, oh, wrong arrows. You can bring your knight up to d4 and gain an attack, but it'll be chased away by c3. So it's not totally bad, but so he came up with a good plan against bishop g4. So that was the wrong strategy. Okay, now you attacked him. He went back. Queen up. Takes the bishop. That's good. Bishop pin. All right. You think bishop pin's a good move for white? Tell what, everyone on the questions, what do you reckon white should play? Is the bishop pin a good idea, or would you like to try something else? So type in what you think white should play. So Justin and Julian saying no, bishop g5 isn't the best. Benji and Joe want c3. Joshua wants c3. Oliver wants, I'm presuming it's bishop e3. Everyone's liking c3 at the moment. So what do you think, Ryan? What would be a good move for white here?
I think it would be c3 to push that knight back.
Yeah, so c3 would be pretty good because we're trying to put our pieces on good squares, and if his piece is on a good square, we want to chase it away. So that would chase it away. Let's say he goes back here or something. Now what might be an okay move for us here? How would you follow it up?
I think now might be a good idea to do the bishop pin.
You could do the bishop pin, but if you've been
You
listening
could
to
also
what
do f4.
Yeah, if you've been listening to what I'm talking about, f4 might be a slightly better way to go. Because now, if he takes you, you can recapture with a developing move. So your bishop's in the game. Also, your rook's now in the game. And if you have another move, your bishop can come here with a pin on that knight. So all of a sudden, you're sort of like getting two pieces in the game you didn't have in the game before. So I'll be looking at c3 and f4 maybe. Anyway, pin. You said go away. He went away, and you chase him away some more. All right. Then a terrible thing happened. Do you remember what happened here?
I think my knight went to h5.
Yeah. So sort of like one move knight blunder. So I can't really criticize you if it's 1 minute chess, but if it was like a 15-minute game, I'd be saying what on earth's going on here? Because if you use that strategy I said before, you decide on your move. So you say knight wants to go to h5, but before you make it, you say what's he going to reply? So you have a quick look around and think, golly gosh, that queen's going to take me, I can't do it. Whereas if you just rip it in, you end up losing a knight. Ouch. Okay, so king went up. Now he chased your knight away, but a funny thing happened. You didn't move it. You don't remember why you didn't move it?
No, actually.
Okay. Because even with 1 minute, as soon as your opponent makes a move, I mean, your automatic reaction should be, what's he threatening? Oh my God, my knight's attacked. Better move it somewhere, or better attack something bigger. So, rook there, bit of a boo-boo. Takes the knight, takes the pawn. Now he's trying to keep attacking. He could have taken your pawn on f7, but maybe he missed that. He went c6, which doesn't really help. He went a4 for some unknown reason. Takes.
Right now we're both on about 5 seconds each, so we just said to be any random move.
So you just blundered your queen, and it was all over Red Rover. Checkmate. Yeah. So well, I can't do much with a 1 minute game. I didn't realise it was that quick, but there's certainly quite a few big blunders in there. So in a tournament game, that's the sort of thing we've got to try and avoid. All right, let's have a look at your next game. Ryan versus Free Spirit. So how long is this game? What time control?
I have an old feeling it's another 1 minute.
Another 1 minute. So you only play 1 minute games?
This was around my birthday time, so, and there was a lightning tournament coming up, so I thought I might as well enter it.
Okay, all right. Well, 1 minute games, I guess, or 2 minute games are reasonable for getting your reactions going and thinking under pressure. But if you want to play good chess, it's just a total waste of time. It's more a race to see who can move fastest. Anyway, we'll have a look and see if we can see anything. So you're white this time. So he's playing safe and stopping you coming to G5. Right, now, so this is good. You've got the 2 points side by side. Much better. So if you had played D3 or something, then as I said earlier, you're sort of stuck with what to do. So, very good, D4. Okay, takes, you take. All right, how do you think you're going here?
I think it's actually fairly good.
All right, what's the good part for white?
I'm getting quite a good attack on his knight. My queen's out. My queen's out. My bishop's got a nice line to go down.
Right. Not exactly what I'm thinking. However, people, in the questions, what is white's main advantage here? Just give me a one word. What advantage does white have in this position? Can anyone suggest what it might be? Joe says centre. Thomas says centre. Sam goes controls the centre. Sort of pieces in the centre, better development, centre. Yeah, well, you've got 3 pieces out to 2, so that's a start. What I'm thinking is you've got more space. So when you look at it, you've got a pawn on the 4th rank. So all this area you've got control, that's your stuff. Now he's only got a pawn on the 3rd rank, so he's only got this much space. So that means it's going to be easier for you to develop your pieces and maneuver your pieces, and that was because he did a capture. So here you've both got an outpost in the centre. You've got a pawn on E4 and he's got a pawn on E5, so it's like even Steven. So he should probably try and keep that pawn on E5 and not do a swap, but as it was, he did the swap. Now you've got more space. All right. He does knight E5. Is that a good move?
I don't think so, really.
Why not? It's taking your bishop, isn't it?
It is, but he still has lots of development to catch up on.
Okay. All right. Let's do a little poll. See what people think. So Black's just played knight E5. What I want you guys to tell me, is this a good move or a bad move for Black? So have a think. Was knight E5 a good move or a bad move? I'll launch the poll. So just tick what you prefer, good or bad. At the moment, it's 50-50. Whoa. Not many voted. Oh, good's hit the lead. Good's on 75% now. 82% good. Still a couple to vote. I'll close it off in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, close the poll. Let's have a look. So we've got 86% reckon it's a good move. 14% reckon it's a bad move. So what did you say? Did you say good or bad?
I went for bad.
You went for bad. So you're in the minority there. All right. Let's see if we can find someone who says it's good. Joe, are you there, Joe?
Yeah, hello.
Hi. Did you vote good or bad?
Good.
All right. Why did you vote good?
I like it because Black is getting his or her space back and making white waste their time moving their bishop around.
Okay, all right, thank you, Joe. Right, okay. All those of you who said good move, bad luck. It's a bad move. It's a bad move. Now we have a rule.
easy defense.
Well, we have a rule that in general you do not move a piece twice in the opening unless you have to. So that knight's already developed. It's on an OK square. Could have a swap but it's protected, so that's no big deal. So we need a good reason to move it twice. Now, sure, we're attacking White's bishop, and he might have to move his bishop twice. So where would you want to? Would you leave the bishop there, or do you want to move it? What do you think?
I find it's fine right there.
Okay, well, were it me, I would move it because I like my bishops. So I would say drop it back here. Now the question we're asking ourselves is where do I want my pieces? So black has this nice knight on e5, but white can, maybe he's going to play here, and then next move he's just going to chase the knight away. We'll have to go back again, and I've already got my 2 pawns rolling, so it's like a temporary good square for the knight. It can't last there. So I think knight e5 was the wrong choice. Now you went up and defended it. I think I would have moved it, never mind. He develops his bishop. Okay, what should we do here? All right, well, let's get some help from the guys. All right, white to play. Ryan's got quite a few moves to choose from, whether he saves his bishop or attacks the knight or does something else. Type in the questions what move you reckon white should play here. Bishop e3 from Josh. f4 from Joe. Knight e5 from Justin and Julian. That's moving a piece twice in the opening, Justin. I'm not sure I like that. Knight d5 from Oliver. Again, that's moving a piece twice. Bishop b5 from Thomas, moving it twice. Bishop f4 from Nathaniel. See, I've got moves everywhere. What do you like, Ryan?
I like the sound of f4.
Okay, you like the sound of f4. Right, so let's pretend we're using my system. So my system says we're going to decide to play f4, but before we do it, we have a quick look around and say, what is he going to reply? So what do you think he's going to reply? Say we play f4.
I think that knight will have to run away to g6 or somewhere.
Okay, what if he played bishop here? What would you do then?
I'd have to move my queen.
Well, if you move your queen, I'm taking your bishop.
Move my bishop.
You don't have to move your queen because you've got a very lucky move. You can play the knight back here, but then he can take it and double your pawns, maybe open your king up a bit. So I think f4 is a pretty dangerous sort of move. I might play just h3, I think, to take away that g4 square. And then next move I'm going to play f4. I'm going to move my bishop and play f4. So that would be the sort of move I'm looking at. All the rest of you who moved a piece twice, don't do it, unless you've got a really good reason. Oh, Ryan actually went bishop f4. Why is our bishop going to f4, Ryan? Is that a good spot for the bishop?
I think so. It's attacking that knight, which is causing pressure on my bishop.
Okay, but if you're going to take it, that's piece for piece. Is that a good trade?
I have to say yes.
All right.
The knight's in a very powerful spot.
Okay, but you could chase him away with the pawn instead. I'm not sure I want to give up my lovely dark squared bishop. So let's see what happens. He goes there. Now you put a rook on the half-open file. That's good. He castles. Takes. All right, so this isn't too bad now because you've got your rook in a nice spot. So it's got pressure down the d file. and your knight on f5, that looks pretty attacking. So you'd have to say you're going okay here. He moves his bishop. What move do you think you should do now, Ryan?
I think I can simply move that knight somewhere like maybe b5.
b5. Is that a good square for the knight? Where's it going from b5?
I actually think d5 would be much better.
Yeah. You've got to work out where you're playing. Now, you're not playing on the queen side. You might be playing on the king side because you've got that nice attacking knight. So you don't want your other knight roaming around there. In fact, you did a very strange move. His bishop went to b4, presumably because he wants to take your knight, and you sort of wasted a move forcing him to do what he wants to do anyway. So that was very strange. Then he was a bit worried about the pin on the d file, so he went there. All right, everyone, quickly type in what do you think Ryan should play as white now. On the question, white to play, what move do you think Ryan should play? Julian, Justin's gone bishop g4, not legal. Just what move do you think you should play, Ryan?
Knight e7.
Yes. Everyone's screaming out knight e7 because when it's their turn to move, they've looked at all checks and captures, and there's that really great check on e7. So if we were at knight e7, we're picking up queen for knight. But you didn't notice. You went f4. So a bit of a blunder, but he didn't notice either. So he takes. You could do it again, but instead you hit his horse. For some reason he gives you a free knight. I don't understand that one.
Probably the long time.
Yeah, probably big time trouble. Takes. Okay, so you can still take an f7. All right, so it's still even material, but your rook's attacked. Now, where should your rook go?
Somewhere like d2, because that means I can double the rooks.
Maybe, if you want to put your rooks in the d file. I think what you did, oh, you did a silly move. Yeah, so again we've got to say where do we want our pieces. So, like maybe rook d2 to hit his bishop, maybe rook d4. Might want to swing across over there or something. So you should have moved the rook, but obviously in time trouble you panicked and you played this very strange move. Can't remember why I did that, or just a blunder in time trouble?
Probably blundering time trouble.
Yeah, because you're losing stuff now because he's got check. So you're a piece down. Okay, with a lost game. All right. What should you do? Have you got any chances? What sort of things should you do when you're losing?
I think now it's the end game. I should be getting my king out.
He's still got a rook and a bishop to attack your king. Is there anything else you should be doing?
Causing
Like
pressure with my pawns.
Well, you need to find some play, because if he's just a bishop up, you're just going to lose because you're a bishop down for nothing. So you need to find some way to attack or threaten, or to take his pawns and maybe get a draw. So I think the obvious moves would be maybe rook up to the 7th, so to tie his rook down, otherwise your rook zooms across and takes those pawns. Or you could have a go at pushing your passed pawn. You might get lucky and get it up here and then get a check or something. You've got to sort of find some play. Whereas what you actually did, you just hit his bishop, and his bishop went to a better square. So now your rook sitting on c1, not looking very helpful. So you have to ask yourself that question, where do I want my pieces? Okay, now you hit him again, so he went to a better square where you can't hit him, and he's blocking your pawn. And then you decided to run in with the king. Good plan, bad plan?
I say good plan, because that bishop's not going to be doing much, and that rook's busy defending the pawns.
All right, so let's use my system. So you've decided you're going to play king f2. Let's ask ourselves, let's have a quick look. What do you think he's going to reply? So just before we make it, we're doing a little check. Has he got a good reply to king f2?
Unfortunately, I just realised he did.
Yeah, because he could play, if he saw it, he could play rook check, swap off the rooks. Then you've got virtually no chance because you're bishop down for no other pieces. Yeah, because when we're down, we've got to swap pawns, not pieces. So king f2 turns out to be a blunder. You got it going, so that was something. But there's nothing much to attack. And now he's just attacking all your loose pawns. You protect one and he gobbles the other one. Now, whether you got any hopes for a stalemate or something, it's all pretty terrible. I think you resigned here, actually. Okay.
I think the real reason was I ran out of time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, 1 minute chess, I mean, you can't read much into 1 minute chess, and I'm sure in tournament games you wouldn't miss all those knight e7 checks or blunder your pieces all around the place. So my suggestion, don't play so much 1 minute chess. But you can see the system that I'm suggesting to you that we look at before. So as soon as your opponent moves, what is he threatening? You look at all checks and captures, so that you look at knight e7 check, and when you've decided on your move, like that king f2, just before you play it, you check it and see if he's got any good replies. So if you do that, you'll eliminate most of the mistakes from your game, and it's just a question of who plays better. All right. So the other things I hope we learned today, if you guys can remember, so in the opening, we looked at the idea of getting those two pawns side by side. So when you're planning your openings in future, don't just trundle out your pieces and then think, what do I do now? Try and plan to get the 2 pawns side by side, put your rooks behind the pawns, off you go. And hopefully that'll make you into better chess players in the opening phase anyway. All right, cool. Well, that's the end of today's lesson. So I look forward to seeing you all next Thursday. And thank you very much to Ryan, our first New Zealand student. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks, Ryan. See you.
See ya.
Bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this